Today we're going to be making the head for your bobblehead. So you're going to want to take a look at your drawing that you did and get an idea for what you want the head to look like. We can keep the drawings on the table, just be kind of careful that you don't get clay all over them. So I'm going to set my drawing off to the side. As a matter of fact, I got front and back on here, but mostly I want to see the front. So just to make mine a little smaller and so you can see it. I guess you can't see it anyway. Well, so it's going to be off to the side here. And then we're ready to make that head for your creature. There, we'll put it there. There we go. So under this cloth, I have a lump of clay. You'll get a lump of clay. And we're going to break off some. Like, I'm going to look at my drawing. It's like, I'll realize I have to attach the ears. Probably do something with the eyes and the nose. I might even, like under the whiskers, build up the face a little bit. So I need some extra clay. I'm going to break off a little chunk of clay. Enough for me to make ears, eyes. I think this would be about right. Maybe a little more. You want most of your clay for the head. And I'm just going to set this off to the side for now. So I have a larger chunk of clay and I'm ready to, we're going to make a pinch pot. So you take the clay, push in towards the middle. Notice how I'm keeping it in my hands. I'm not putting it on the table. I'm pushing in and I'm forming it into a ball. Then I'm going to roll it in my hands. There's the bell. So I'm going to roll it in my hands. If there are splits or cracks, I can take my thumb, smooth those out. I'm going to roll it. And you guys, this will probably take a little longer than it looks like. And you roll it into a ball without any splits or cracks in it. So I'm going to check it. There, so you want something like that. Now we're going to turn this into a pinch pot. So once you've rolled it into a ball, what you do is you put it in your hand that you do not draw with. So I'm right-handed, so I put it in the palm of my left hand. I'm going to take my right thumb and I'm going to push in. Now, not all the way through, of course, but I'm going to push in and make an indent. Notice for me it went about halfway up my thumb, so to the knuckle. That's pretty good. Then I'm going to keep this in my left hand, and you guys, if you're left-handed, put it in your right hand. And I'm taking my fingers and I'm pinching. My thumb goes in and my fingers go like, it's a pinching motion, but it's way down here. So I'm pinching near the bottom and I'm turning it. I'm turning in my hand and I'm pinching towards the bottom. And what that's doing is it's widening it up inside here. You can't even really see that. Now I'm going to pinch towards the top, same motion. It's a pinching motion like this. And I'm going to pinch up here. Notice how I keep it in my hand. I'm pinching. That's why it's called a pinch pot. And you do that until you have something. Now notice that looks like a little bowl. Now notice it's still really thick around here. We don't want to make these too skinny. You don't want to pinch them until they're super skinny because they'll be very fragile then, and you don't want your poor little bobblehead's head to break. That would be awful. Now I'm going to go around here and kind of smooth it out. I want to smooth out the inside. That's the part that when you make the body, it rests on that kind of pointy neck that we make. So I'm smoothing out. Now here's the other thing. We're using our thumb as a measuring device. I'm going to put my thumb in and I'm going to make sure that the inside of my pinch pot is the same length as my thumb. How convenient. Mine happens to be that way. If it's not, adjust yours to make it the same length. This is important because when we get to making the body, we're going to make the part that the head rests on the length of your thumb. So this is our measuring device. So make sure it stays that way the whole time you're working on it. Now you can kind of smooth out that inside. We want it nice and curved right at the bottom. I'm going to smooth this a little bit too. I'm going to look at this and go, oh, it needs to, like, see how mine kind of goes in? This one curves out. So I might do a little more pinching along here, trying to adjust the shape to something more like my cat's head, because I'm trying to make that. It's getting kind of thin in some places though, and you want to be careful. I'm going to curve it in here to try to get it to be a little more the shape of that cat's head. And then I do have to check it again to make sure that my thumb fits in there. So I'm going to do this. You can see what yours does. So I'm pinching mine in at the bottom, this edge. So it's a little more shaped like that. I don't even quite know if I have it yet. So now I'm going to check. Okay, we're still good. So I'm going to keep doing that. Now if yours doesn't need that, then that's fine. I'm just looking at my drawing and going, oh, how do I make that? So, okay, and I might not spend a ton of time on this because I'm just demonstrating. Now I'm going to check inside here, make sure it's smooth. That's pretty good, because we don't want it to be bumpy in there. It won't bobble very well. And I'm going to check the length, and then I'm going to set it down on here. Now I don't want to squish it, I just want to set it down so that I can now work on it. So I've smoothed the inside. It looks kind of like my drawing, kind of. And then I want to check for splits and cracks. You don't push very hard on it. Now I'm going to add the ears, eyes, nose. I'm going to give it one more final look going, okay, does it look like my cat? Kind of. All right, so I take my extra clay and I'm going to make one of those ears. So I'm just going to make the ear. I'm not going to worry about attaching it yet. I'm going to look at my drawing and go, okay, that ear. Now the thing with clay, of course, clay, even once it's fired, breaks very, very easily. So we don't want to make little skinny things that might break off. We want to make them kind of thicker, something that you think is less likely to break, because it'd be really cool to get these home without breaking them, since you're going to be working hard on them and they're going to be cool. So I made an ear, kind of like that ear. I'm going to put it on where I want it, not pushing hard, because if I push hard, I'm going to collapse the head. Now, yeah, it kind of sticks, but we have to attach it. Here's how we're going to attach it. Anything you stick on, you're going to go all the way around. We're going to take one of the clay tools. So either you'll have wooden sticks like this, or you're going to have green plastic ones. I'm not sure what's over at Concord. And you're going to go like this. You're pushing some of the clay down. Let me see if you can see that. I'll lift it up. Pushing the clay down all the way around, and this attaches it. Once you've done that, you can smooth that out and make it look nice, but that's how we're attaching things. Now, I want this ear to look like a single piece, and I'm going to be careful. Sometimes I might need to pick it up so that when I'm smoothing this, I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it. So I picked it up and put my hand inside, my fingers, so that there's my fingers are in there, so it won't collapse. And that could be an important thing to remember, so that you don't collapse your pinch pot. So there I've attached one ear. I'm going to make another ear. Same process. Pull off some clay, make the ear, and let me show you the attaching process again. So I got to make sure the ear looks right to me. Make an ear. No, I wish it curved that way a little more. Then I'm going to put it where I want it. We're going, now again, you can put your fingers inside to make sure you don't collapse it. We're going to go all the way around with our clay tool. All the way around. Oh, make sure it's still on camera. It gives that kind of rough attachment. Then we're going to smooth it with our fingers. Make sure there are no splits or cracks. And attach things. And this is a really good way to attach things. They are not going to come off if you do those 2 steps. Use the clay tool to attach it, then smooth it. Now let me show you with an eye. So there's the 2 ears. And I can adjust them. I'm going to look at my picture, and I see my ears on the picture kind of both curve in a little bit. Okay, so now I got 2 ears. I'm going to put an eye on here, and again I do the same thing. I make the eye, and I'll show you how to draw details around the eye too. Put it on here. It's a little thick. I'm going to make it thinner. I don't think I want an eye that thick. Okay, put it on here. Take my clay tool, and again I might need to put my fingers in here. Clay tool, attach, and then smooth. Now if you want it to look, even though it's attached, like it's a separate piece, because it can't be a separate piece or it'll fall off, but let me get this the way I want it. You can take the clay tool and you can draw around it, and that's kind of fun. Makes it look like it's separate even though it's not, because gosh, if it were separate it would come right off. And you're going to continue on like that, attaching all the pieces and getting it to look close to the way you want it. So here I'm going to do another eye, and then I'll show you how to attach the, I'm sorry, not how to attach, how to do the details then. We are going to be drawing in the details. So again, let's do a quick review of this. Here's the eye, attach with the clay tool. Smooth with your fingers, and then you can shape it the way you want. Notice how my other fingers are inside, so I'm not wrecking this. Okay, and then we're going to, in this case, I'm going to draw around it. Can adjust it. And I'm going to do the same with the nose, the mouth, and I'll get that all ready, and then I'll show you in a video how to finish it up.